Welcome back to another JIVij podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
And I'm Chris Mark.
We have a special guest today. His name's Chris Mark, a good friend of mine. We've known each other for I don't know, a long time. Since high school,
bro.
Since high school. Felicia's kind of busy today, so she couldn't make it to the podcast.
I'm filling in.
So we have a substitute. But yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Chris Mark real quick because he actually helped me with the studio. He helped me paint the space and helped me put up some of those foams and the sound panels on the wall, which is pretty big help because it was a pain in the ass putting the sound panels on the wall.
Oh, for sure. And the painting part too.
Painting was
it was a pain in the
you know
ass.
how it is. You know how the painting goes.
If you've never done it, try it. You'll know.
It's fun, but it's also a lot of work and kind of a pain in the ass. It is kind of relaxing though. I feel like painting is relaxing a little bit.
It is. I mean, because we like at night times, like those a few nights that we were in here, we were just at till like 2:00 in the morning, just painting this room, and we were just in our zone. It's kind of weird because like while I was doing it, a lot of my creativeness just started coming out, but not because I was like painting or anything, but because I was like in my own zone doing things.
Yeah, because I think painting puts you in a zone a little bit where you're just kind of focusing, and because it's very I don't know, there's like certain things that you're doing while painting, it's kind of you just get in that flow, I guess. Like, I don't know if that's the right.
I think I understand what you're talking about because it's like being like an actual like painter, like Picasso or something. It's like when they're in their zone, it's like they just start going at it, and next thing you know, the creativeness just comes out, and next thing you know, they have like a masterpiece coming out.
Yeah. I mean, painting a wall is not the same
it's
as
not
Picasso.
the same, but it's like it gets you into a point where you're like zoned in and you're concentrated and you're just going at it. You know what I mean? So a lot of that, just like being in your own mind, it just kind of helps. It helps develop creativity in a sense.
Yeah, and I think like just like setting up the whole studio too, it was kind of a really good creative process, kind of figuring out how things like how to design. I guess it's like a set design,
Yeah.
Like you can't see it on camera, but the ceiling is actually like pretty dope too. Yeah, Chris Mark helped me put up all those ceiling tiles.
The panels, man, those things were a pain in the ass.
But yeah, I just want to give you a quick shout out. Thank you for helping me set up the studio,
anytime,
dude.
Whatever. It's like anything I could do to help with you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we normally start our podcast with our weekly interests. So like, what are the things that are you interested currently right now?
Currently, what I'm trying to do is get back into my creative self again. Basically, I got kind of lost, and I've just been listening to pretty much what people are telling me, and to live. And because of that, I kind of lost myself and stopped doing what I wanted to do. And so lately, I just been trying to get back into my zone. I told myself this year, you know what, I'm gonna get back into like create my creative side. So basically, I'm gonna try to get back into like acting, as well as trying to make some music, but modeling, trying to get in there again. I mean, because I was going good for a while, and then next thing you know, I don't know what happened.
Life happens, dude.
It does, and
it just beats you down, and you just years and years later, you're like, oh shit, like I didn't do the things that I wanted to do for a long time.
And over the years, people have been telling me, it's like, yeah, you should just get into this. I mean, you have the looks and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I still kind of maybe have the looks. so
it's
so
never
who knows?
too late, man.
It is. I mean, because honestly, it's like I've seen. There's this model that I saw. He was doing a runway fashion show for I don't know, but this guy's about 70 years old.
70?
He's 70, and he's Asian, and
we got Asian blood, so we still look good until we're like 60, 70. I
Yep.
feel like.
So he decided to just he this guy looks old as shit, but like he decided to just go for it, like fuck everything and just
Yeah.
go after his dreams. And next thing you know, he started walking the runways, and I was like, holy shit, this guy, he's an inspiration because if this guy could do it, then why can't we? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like I don't think age has anything to do with it. It's just a matter of your perspective and how you want to pursue it. It's like it's like just being in a sense consistent with what you want to do versus versus everything else that's like trying to attack you all at once.
Yeah, because I feel like there's really, when people say like, oh, it's too late to do that and to do this, unless it's like very physical, like athletics.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if like older people can really just like go to like the NBA or NFL or anything like that. That's like requires physical.
Abilities.
Yeah, but anything that's like more creative, like I think you could do it any time
I agree.
or like any age, because like if you build a business, like there you hear some like the KFC Colonel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was like really old when he founded KFC, so like you never know. And KFC is like one of the biggest like fast food chains right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's really no, I guess there's no like a perfect time. I don't know if perfect time is the right word.
I would say there's no timeline to
Yeah, I guess timeline is
basically what you're trying to do. It's just all up on you.
Yeah.
And what you want to do. It's like you don't let anything. I mean, this guy, the Colonel. I've read his story. He went door to door selling his fried chicken. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Literally, he went door to door, and a lot of people rejected his fried chicken. I mean, his chicken was freaking good. He had like the only his seasoning was different from the rest.
Yeah.
And because he cared about that, he wanted to pursue the chicken field. Fried chickens, and so he got shut down multiple times before he could even become known for what KFC is.
Yeah.
And so that just tells me is like, you know what, anything is possible. It just age doesn't matter. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're in that zone.
As long as you're interested in it, and like if you're really passionate about what you're passionate about, then fuck it, dude, go for it.
Exactly. It's like
I'm glad that you're trying to pursue it again, man, because like I've known you for a long time, and when you told me like, oh, I'm gonna go pharmacy school, I'm just like, I don't see it. But I mean, like, I don't tell people what to do, so like fuck it, like if that's what you want, if that's what you think you should do, then that's why I never said anything. But
I think what it was is just like like I said earlier, it's like I talked to not random people, of course, because I was in the field, right?
Yeah.
And because I was in the field, that's the only thing I was surrounded by, and so I thought that was the right path for me.
Yeah, because your immediate circle, the people that you're around, all they're talking about is like, oh, I want to be a pharmacist and blah blah blah, and yeah, it's sometimes you get a little lost because if you're only surrounded by the people that are like focusing on that thing, it's hard to be on your own and like thinking about like, oh, I want to do something else when everybody else is like, oh, let's all do this, or you know what I mean. But that's gonna be a good segue to like the topic that we're gonna be talking about later. But yeah, I just wanted, like, I'm glad that you're pursuing the things that you're interested in, man.
Well, thanks, bro. I mean, I really appreciate that. I mean, it's like it's hard to find support nowadays for what you want to do because like a lot of people, there's a lot of just like hating nowadays.
Yeah.
And like it's like they have that crab mentality where they just they see somebody doing somebody sees something that somebody else is doing and they see that they're doing good for it, or regardless of whether they're doing good or not, they just want to bring that person down. And it's hard to find a group of people that
exactly
that wants to be doing that
That's
will
why you
support
gotta find your tribe, man. You gotta find a tribe that's like supporting you with whatever you're doing, and like just for being you, you know.
Yeah, the connection is real.
Exactly. But I was, I was expecting a different answer from you.
Really?
When you when I asked you about your interest, but
Let me ask you, what were you thinking?
I thought you were gonna say Blackpink.
Well, no. So here's the thing. I just really recently got into Blackpink. I honestly don't know why. I just recently got into Blackpink, but after hearing all their stories and stuff, it's like it also they're also one of the reasons and factors of the reason why I'm choosing to do the things I want to do today.
Yeah.
It's because like I watched their documentary and everything, and how they like it's like 4 people that from different countries. It's like they're like mostly Korean. So 3 of them are Koreans, and one of them is actually Thai, which is Lisa. But all different backgrounds. Two of them came from New Zealand, and then there's of course the one Jisoo from Korea. She's basically the the original Korean girl in there. But it just fascinates me that they all came from different backgrounds, and then they started doing their thing, and it just like when I was watching them like go through their training and stuff, it reminded me of being part of our old dance crew that I used to be part of with actually Felicia was in it. So
yeah,
we were called Commotion, and we were doing very well actually. As a matter of fact, I thought that we were very successful in what we were doing because we weren't just doing things in town. We were actually traveling over like to different locations. We've actually been offered to cause I remembered we were offered for, a thing for Prada, and we were going to, I don't know if it was a runway or thing or anything like that, but I think they wanted us to dance for them, and we got super excited. And then I don't know what happened to that, but eventually it's like we moved on, and then we ended up performing for other stars, like Asian stars, or mainly Filipinos, because that's our connections right there. So we danced for Vina Morales, we danced for Vong Navarro, Bea Alonzo.
Shout out to all the Filipino artists, man.
We even did Wawa Wee when they came to Reno. Seriously,
that's
though.
like classic, like what is it, like a variety show, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Wawa Wee. It's that's some old school shit, dude.
Yeah, it is.
This is back in the day. We're a little bit older. Like, I know you can't tell by the cameras because, the Asian blood, but yeah.
Yeah, we're showing our age, bro. But aside from that, it's like
let me ask you this though. What's your Blackpink favorite Blackpink song?
Right now, Venom.
Pink Venom?
Pink Venom.
Yeah, nice. I actually really like Pink Venom too. That's probably my favorite Blackpink song, just because I like the beat and that it's just so good.
And then also they did collaborations with who was it, Dua Lipa, and then who's that?
They collab with Dua Lipa?
Yeah,
Huh.
they actually have a song out. And then also what is it called? What's that one song with Lady Gaga?
I think I've heard of this, but like
it's like Sour Candy.
Oh, okay.
I think those are the 3 bangers that they have out.
I think I've heard that song, but
yeah, we're pretty
Pink
good.
Venom's gonna be top of my list for sure. Yeah.
Actually, real quick though, before we continue, because I think we're starting to digress. Going back to my story of why what with Blackpink.
Oh yeah.
One of the factors also that brought me back to what I wanted to do is because when I was seeing their creative side, they were just doing their dancing thing, and I was like, damn, it's like that used to be me that like wanted to do that type of stuff, and it's like, what the hell happened to me, And so because of that, I was like, I gotta get back in. It's like I don't wanna like people like go and do things and then forget about their passion and their dream, and because of that they end up being very miserable because they stop chasing what they want versus what they I mean, it's good to do like find a job, a stable career and stuff, but if you're not in the game to find your passion and be happy about it, then it's like you're gonna lose yourself for sure. So that's actually what happened to me, is like I definitely lost myself, And so because of that, I was reintroduced to what I wanted to do again. And so
which is good.
modeling, acting, music.
Yeah, because I think like things just kind of happen that way too.
Yeah.
Regardless of like what you believe, like things will be like in front of you to show you that like I guess to remind you that you've lost your way a little bit,
Yeah.
and to like help you get back on track. Because I mean, I have my own journey. Like I'll eventually talk about it on the podcast, but yeah, because like for me, there was like certain events in my life that like helped me to like point to like a right direction.
Yeah.
During that time, it's like a slow progress. Like something happens, and then like, oh, like I gotta change this, and now like I'm like pivoting, and then something happens, and then you gotta pivot again. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's a constant kind of reaction to like whatever is going on with your life, and then it ultimately leads you to like a hopefully like that's the goal, right? Like to find like the ultimate happiness.
Exactly.
Like I don't know if it's like that saying, the pursuit of happiness. Like I don't know if like happiness is like a destination that you'll finally reach to like after everything that you've done, or is it like you just find little happiness here while you're in the pursuit of that.
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, honestly, it's like because for me, it's like because going through the stuff that I went through, I was going through a lot of misery. I didn't realize why I was so unhappy again. You know what I mean? And then just trying to find that pursuit of happiness for myself. My version of happiness is a vision of me doing the things that I want to do, not what people are telling me.
Yeah.
That what I need to do. It's because like that's what my soul is yearning for. It's like that's what I want to do, not what because I notice a lot of people are doing just daily habits and stuff, and they're not happy, of course, because they're not like choosing their happiness. They're just chasing paper, and that's okay. If you love paper, go for it. But
Everybody loves the bag, but
it's
what?
not. I don't think it's gonna buy you the happiness that you want. You may, of course, buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and you may spike your happiness for like a few days. But even millionaires, I notice like they're not happy. A lot of them end up being unhappy because they never chose to do themselves. Even though they have all this money now, it's like
Yeah,
they didn't pursue themselves.
exactly. And I think that's going to be like a good segue to the today's topic, which is not caring about other people's opinions. Um yeah, so like you talked about it a little bit when you said you lost your way, and because you were surrounded by the people, like it's not that they're like bad influence or
Of course
but
not,
like
yeah.
it's just your circle is like, that saying, you're the average of your like five
five friends,
closest
yes.
friends. So like if you're the five people that is closest to you, it's all only talking about like, oh, let's just chase the money, and like that's kind of, it gets you into like that mindset where you're, because we're very like humans are very adaptive,
Yeah.
and I think it will just get you to that point where like, all right, like let me just focus on getting the bag. But like it's good that you somehow found a way, like maybe it was the Blackpink documentary or like something triggered you to like, this is not it, like this is
Yeah.
not the answer, this is not the happiness that I was going for. And obviously like bags, getting the bag is great.
Yes.
Like having money gets you the freedom, you can get to do whatever you want, you can buy whatever you want, you don't have to worry about bills at all. And like, that's like one of my goals. Like I just want to get to a point where I don't have to worry about money. I'm still in the pursuit of that, but like while I'm in pursuit of that, I'm like pursuing the things that I really want to do.
Exactly.
Which is the podcast, the music. For me, I'm like, I at this very moment, I'm not making a lot of money like doing this. Not even making money on doing this right now.
It's a start, bro. It's a
Like
start.
I invested a lot of money to like have this space and this, just like have the equipment and all that stuff. And people probably think that like, oh man, that's like very irresponsible of like, I mean, I don't know, but
That's their opinion, though.
yeah. But for me, it's like I don't really care about what other people are thinking when it comes to like the decisions that I'm making, the things that I'm pursuing. It's all about like what makes me happy. And for me, like doing this and being free is what makes me happy. And that's why I always kind of just, I don't care what other people are thinking. If like they're thinking that like, oh, me pursuing this is very risky, I mean,
You have to take.
it is
big
very
risks
risky,
to
but
take,
it's just like the higher the risk, the higher the reward,
Exactly.
right?
And at the same time, this risk is involving your own happiness. It's
Yeah.
not, involving anything else but that.
Yeah, because like if I'm not doing this and if I'm just doing a 9 to 5 and making a lot of decent money, would I be happy? Hell no.
Oh,
Like
man,
I've been
I
there
feel you
before. I quit my job 5 years ago and I've never really went back to it. Like I'm just doing like a lot of like side gigs right now to just kind of get me by, but it's actually like like I wish I had more money. It would be great
Yeah.
to like not worry about bills, but I'm so much happier now than I was like working my 9 to 5 during that time, where I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
kind of secure, and then I get my weekends, and then I gotta do same bullshit over and over again for because like I realized in my old job, I was just like, man, am I ready to do this for the next 45 years? I was 2 years in. This was after college too, and I was like, fuck this, dude. Like I can't. Like
Honestly,
I just
though, you're right.
yeah, and yeah. So when I quit, there was just like a lot of even my parents too. They were like, man, like they
were
wanted me
shocked.
to like find another job right away, but I told them like I'll figure it out. I have my videography, photography. You know what I mean? But and during that time, they were like, oh, you should apply for this, or apply for that. But then a few years later, they just stopped asking because I was like, clearly I'm somehow making it happen. You know what I mean? Like as long as I'm not like asking for money or begging for money, like
It's like you're bumming it on. the
yeah,
streets
like I'm
over
not
there.
bumming it. Like I'm still figuring it out somehow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like for me, I just like pursuing the things that I love, and yeah, like I don't know, like no fear, I guess. I mean,
think
there
that's
is fear,
very
but
important.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there will always be fear no matter what you do. There's always a risk of no matter what you do. It's just a matter of, is that risk like important to you?
Yeah.
Will it take you? Do you think that it will take you to your destination of happiness? And if it's a yes, then go for it. But if it's a no, then why are you pursuing it? And that's what happened to me. It's because like I honestly like with all these things, the things that I've been going through lately is like I really took I sat myself down and I took a hard look at my life, and I asked myself, it's like, do I really want to do this? The answer was like, hell no. And then I realized, you know what the hell am I doing with myself? This is not even my passion. It's like I'm doing this just because I want to survive and I want to
Yeah.
live. I mean, the economy is getting worse, and I could see that. I mean, like trying to buy stuff is just like groceries is just expensive nowadays, and that scared me. And I think that the scare factor in that is what drove me as well. But when I really thought about it, am I happy? No. So I decided to just go on with this risk that I'm taking as far as this modeling and acting and music career thing that I want to try to do, and we'll see what happens with it. But at least I know that I'll be happy,
yeah,
I won't be stuck, and I won't have the feeling that like that I'm like backed up against something. I mean, each and everything that we do in life, no matter what it is. I mean, I've seen it in college with students. It's like they're trying to get into med school or something, and then they're so stressed out about trying to do that, and that's cool that they want to do that, but it's like this is what I'm trying to say is that each and everything that you do will always put you up against the ropes no matter what. So
That's
you just
true.
got to understand which side do you want to be,
Like which
so,
struggle do you want?
yes,
Which I guess uphill do you want to walk?
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
everything is an uphill, regardless of if it's what you want to do, your passion, or the life grind where you're just like constantly chasing the money.
Yep.
And everybody's gonna have an opinion too, especially when I guess when it comes to, at least when it comes to the arts. Like we come from an Asian family,
Yeah.
and the thing with the Asian family is like it's focused on stability and financial stability,
Yep.
and it's hard to I guess say, or I guess tell your parents or like your family that like, oh, um I'm pursuing the arts,
Yeah.
when it comes to like music or YouTube, podcasts, whatever.
100%.
Because I had this conversation with my mom too, and like I'm lucky that she's not the type to like, no, you can't do that, like you
Yeah.
gotta do this. But then she's also very worried. I mean, like, I guess that's normal because
That's
like
just
parents.
parents.
Yeah.
Love.
But I had this conversation with her when I told her that like this is what I want to do. I want to do YouTube. I want to do music. Like I want to pursue the creative things. Like I don't want to just work a regular 9 to 5 and like And I even told her too, like it's okay. Like you don't have to be like, not, I didn't say it like this, but like I'm just like paraphrasing. Like you don't have to be my cheerleader,
Yeah.
because like I don't know, like Asian parents. This is gonna be in a different topic, but they're not very good at being a cheerleader to their kids. At least
Not when it comes to like specifically artsy
Yeah.
type of stuff. I mean, they'll be worried because I think what it is because we came from a country of poverty, and especially me, I for sure came from a country of poverty, like where I came, my background,
Yeah.
very poor. And so what my parents always told me is like, we are here in America because
To, like-
it's an opportunity to get better.
which is I totally get it, and I totally understand too, like all the sacrifices that my parents made to like to give us a better life. But then it's I don't know, like for me, I'm just not I don't know what the right word is, a follower or a sheep.
I mean, I guess,
Like,
yeah, I guess
I
you
don't
could
know,
say that.
like that's a pretty bad,
No,
like,
it's a good thing because like if I don't know, I see it because everybody from what I've seen is
Yeah.
a sheep. Honestly, basically from like I don't know, even in I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but like basically a lot of people become sheeps.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much I've noticed, like how many people are following certain things but they don't see, they're just, it's from what I see is like they're not unique in their own sense.
Yeah.
They just want to follow the crowd and the trend and everything else. It's like, and it bothers me because there's not a lot of people out there with a lot of creative mind anymore.
And the thing that one of the questions that I get asked pretty often that I really hate too is like, how do you make money off that? When it comes to like music or YouTube or like,
Yeah.
oh, how are you gonna make money? Like that's like the thing that I hate answering the most, is because it's hard to answer when you're struggling.
Yeah.
Like I can say here with like my chest up, be like, oh, I'm gonna make so much money, and I do believe that, but then it's so hard to like prove it.
Yep.
Like where's the money? Like I can't prove it right now. There's nothing. Like there's no tangible thing that I can show. I mean, is this a tangible thing that I can show? Like, I don't know.
I
Like,
mean, honestly, you're renting a space here. You've got stuff on the walls that everything in this room. You basically.
I mean,
like, paid
things
for
are
it,
pretty
honestly.
expensive in here, but like,
So obviously you're doing something to survive
Yeah.
and make all this happen for you. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think it's just like, it's such a, and not just like parents or family. It's like everybody. Like when people ask you, like, oh, you're gonna pursue that? How are you gonna make money with it? Like,
You know what this is?
but then the thing is, the irony is like, those people that ask that, they also look up to the people that are like, we look up to like the entertainers or like everybody that has already made it,
Yep.
and then they're questioning they're questioning the
at the
people
beginning.
that are trying to pursue that
Yeah.
things. And it's like, don't you see the people that already made it? And
Yep.
like, there's no difference between me and them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
all come from
talent
humble
varies.
beginnings.
Like, there's like slight differences on like talent level or whatever, like skill or your looks, or like. But at the end of the day, it's, oh, how are you gonna make money? Like, oh, have you seen Joe Rogan fucking doing like millions of dollars, like
Yeah.
getting that Spotify deal for $100 million? Like, that's how you make the fucking podcast money. But not everybody can be Joe Rogan. But
No.
there's so many people that can make $1 million doing podcasts. And I'm not saying that it's like that's my ultimate goal. Like, oh, I'm following this so I can make millions of dollars. Like, there's other things that are like important to me too, because like the reason why a lot of the topics that are in this podcast is based on self-development, spirituality, and like just like human experiences, is because like I want to help people and like wake people up and just I guess kind of show them the way. There's other options out there that you can do whatever you want to do without worrying about other people's opinions, because everybody's gonna have opinions, regardless.
Everybody, 100%. It's like no matter where you go in life, even from a very young age, there like toddlers. They have their own opinion. I mean, you give a child, you try to feed a child some, I don't know, some sort of Gerber type of pea flavored, I don't know, pudding or something, and try to feed it. And the next thing you know, they're like, no, and we all have opinions from the beginning of our life. It doesn't matter, So I believe that everybody, no matter how old you are, is gonna have an opinion of what they think is right for you.
Yeah.
But I think because I'm a victim of that, and then I let people's opinions dictate my life and where I stood, and I'm starting to realize, man, these people are all wrong. It's like how do they know what makes me feel better about, it makes
Yeah.
me happy about myself, It's like, sure, I could follow this and that, and that's what I've been doing, trying to be a pharmacy doctor, but following that path, I realized, this ain't it. It's
Yeah,
like,
because ultimately, like, you're the only one that knows what you really want.
exactly.
Yeah, you can have, your family or your like closest friends. Like, yeah, like we may have like an idea of what you want, but like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
ultimately, it's just like it's all on you. That's why like when people ask me for advice, I give them my advice, but then I always have a disclaimer on, like, this is my advice, listen to it or don't. Like, I don't really give a fuck. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because for me, I don't take advices. It's like that might be like a I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
I think yes and no.
yes and no. But then it's also like I pay attention.
Yeah.
Like I learn from other people's mistakes. Like, it's not that I'm just like so delusional. I don't think that I know everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's so many people out there that knows more than me,
Yes, of course.
and I pay attention to that. But then it's like I mean, there are things that you can like, oh, if somebody's like, when it comes to business, like I don't really know much. I don't really know a lot, but like, yes, I would pay attention to that. But then also ultimately, like I have to make the decision of like what I want to do.
Exactly.
So they would give me, somebody would give me advice. Oh, this is what you should do to help your business grow, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's at the end of the day, it's up to me. Like, am I gonna listen to that? Do I agree? Do I agree to it or do I not? And yeah, and I think that's just like it comes with going back to like not giving a fuck about other people's opinions.
Yes.
But I don't know. Like you're right. Like it is a good and a bad thing. Maybe like I don't know.
Here's the way I think about it, because I know you're a music producer yourself.
Yeah.
It's like this is the way I see it. So for example, you got this. Let's say you've mastered a song, and then you ask somebody, is like, he's like, what do you think? Either they'll give you a little bit of critiquing on it, and that's an opinion of theirs, and then you could either take what they're telling you or not. But sometimes what it is like, oh man, this guy, he's like telling me to drop some snares on here, and you know what? Let me try this real quick.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good. Or if you don't want to take his opinion because and you tried it, and then that's on you as well, because because that's the way I see it. It's like it's really dependent on what you think of your music, not what they think. They could have a little bit of influence, but not have it to where it's starting to you're asking them all the time and it's like becoming their song versus yours.
And like I'm not saying I'm like close to advice, like you said, like when it comes to music, right?
Yeah.
I'll play. That's one thing that I never ask or say anything. Like I never ask what do you think of this. I just play them the stuff because like I don't really care what you think of it. But that's a different topic. I mean, it is the same topic, but like so I would play the music and then they'll listen to it.
Yeah.
And like you said, everybody's gonna have an idea of like how to make the music better, which is I'm open to like suggestions. When it comes to like collaborating with music too, it's like obviously like I want to keep in mind of that other people's input and not it's like because it's not just my music, unless it's just like my music, then like I don't need anybody else's input. But when it comes to like collaborative music, it's like, oh, obviously like I want to ask them like, oh, like what do you like, it's like it becomes like our music, you know what I mean? Like it's not just my music. So it's like I want everybody's feedback too. So like that, like, yes, I'm open to that, but then ultimately it's like when it comes to, and I guess it depends too, at least like for me, like if I'm leading the ship, like if it's like if I'm just like a feature in somebody's music, then like if I'm just like singing a hook, like I'm just gonna sing that hook and then like they can do whatever the fuck they want to do with it. But when it comes to like my music, is like, okay, like yes, I want your feedback, but then like I also keep in mind that I was like, like do I agree to that or not?
I think what it is, you have to be authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, because if you don't have that authenticity to yourself, then that's when your music starts becoming not you anymore.
Yeah.
Or wherever you're doing, it just becomes everybody else's shit. And that makes a whole lot of mess for yourself, because you start questioning yourself, and that's not a good thing, because that's where you lose sight of who you really are in terms of like, music production or anything as a matter of fact,
Because it's like, if you really think about it, like all the artists, like, I don't know, like fucking Picasso, like, did anybody tell him that like, oh, you shouldn't use that fucking paint, or like don't use that stroke, or like change that shit? Like, no, you just fucking make the art and like that's it.
Yep.
It's like either you like it or you don't. Everybody's gonna have an opinion of what an art looks like. There are some art that I'm just like, that looks like shit. Like I don't get it. But then people fucking love that shit. You know what I mean? Like especially with like music too. There's so many music out there that is like oh, a lot of them like I don't like. But then there's also some music that I like that people are like, that's okay. Like, it's not my thing.
I think that saying where they say there's that saying is like agree to disagree. This is a good spot to put that. It's like
Yeah.
not everybody will agree with what you put out there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be only a certain crowd. But I think that's what makes it so great is because you have this community of people that are into your stuff. You know what I mean? And being part of that community, it's like you've created something here that it's like a support background in a sense where it also
Yeah.
you see it's like, oh man, these people are hyping me up, this is great. And if you have that if you have that means you're being authentic to yourself. It's like when I see all these other music like that's going on out right now, it's like everybody sounds the fucking same, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody's authentic anymore. Everybody's biting off of each other's shit, and it just bugs me that there's not a lot of creativity going on like nowadays.
Yeah, like you have to dig
bugs me.
deep on when it comes to like if you want to find like unique music is because especially now too that the barrier of entry is it's so easy to make music now.
Everybody could buy.
Like if you have a laptop, even your phone, like you can even make
Yep.
music on your phone now. So it's so easy to make music these days compared to how it was back in the day where you had to like go to the studio. So that's why there's so many music out there. Like I'm not saying it's saturated, but then it's also kind of is.
I think there's
But
still
then
room.
There's always room for like the people that are making good art will always come out on top.
Yes.
At the end of the day. But then if you think about it, like a lot of the mainstream music, it's I want to dive deep into that in a different time, but like there's a lot of like propaganda like there's like a machine behind that thing. That's why whatever's popular right now is what's popular right now. It's because of certain things that I want to get into like eventually in this podcast. Like there's a lot of conspiracy things that like I would love to discuss because like conspiracy theory is like it's a fun discussion, but
for sure, 100%.
but yeah, that's we'll talk about that on a different time. But yeah, that's why it's like I always find like the people that are like unique, I gravitate towards them is because like even if I don't necessarily like fully like their stuff, as long as I can see like, oh damn, like that's pretty unique. Like it's not my thing, but I still appreciate it for the authenticity of the art and not just like, oh, I've already seen that before. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that's why I always kind of like gravitate towards the people that are like going for it and like they're very like just true to themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like also it's like even with the way we dress. I mean, you and I obviously have different styles, but we don't look like everybody else out on the street. If you like were to pick us out, like for sure, because we don't like going back to the topic. It's like we don't give a shit about what other people like think about what we how we dress or anything like that. Because I noticed that even the style of today's culture, it's like everybody looks the damn same.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like style. There's always a trend on what's going around.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's just because like they care that everybody else is like. It's because people wants to be like in the end, I guess, of the what's cool right now.
Yeah.
Like let's do that. You know what I mean?
And obviously, I don't fit that structure at all. I mean, because I notice like it's like I don't know. It just bugs me. I'm a person who don't like looking like everybody else. I don't like following trends or anything like that. I mean, it's cool that there's things out there that I might like as a trend, but I'm not one to follow anybody else's like cookie cutter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because I wanna be my own self. I like wearing fitted clothing and just nice clothes in general. And with that said, it's like I don't give a shit about what people is like. I've gotten opinions about the way I look all the time too. Is like from a lot of people. It's like a lot of the younger crowd don't even like the way I dress because they think it's like, oh, you still wear skinny jeans and stuff. They ain't skinny, bitch.
It's just really tight.
Yes. I'm just a little, I don't know. It's just a little tight. Maybe I'm a little beefy. I don't know. Who knows? But it's like I don't really care about what people think about the way I dress. It's like I'm kind of curious though. It's like if I were to ask a younger person to dress me up, I wonder what they would put me in. You know what I mean? Because I want to see how unique their thought process is.
No, it's probably like whatever's in right now. We're just like I don't know, like I don't really pay attention to a lot of that stuff, but I do see like a lot of very loose clothing these days too. Like at least from what I noticed that like the blue jeans are like in right now. Like at least like for girls, like blue jeans and like I don't know. Like I don't really pay attention to
I don't know.
I don't know, like, cause sometimes I'd be driving, like at the, cause I live by the university, so
Oh yeah,
it's like,
for sure. You see a
I
lot
would
of trends
be-
there for sure.
I would be driving around by the university, and then like a group of girls that would just be wearing the same exact clothing, and it's just like, huh, like that's probably what's in right now, like the jeans and the white t-shirts and like, I don't know.
I think maybe I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong on this. I'm probably wrong, but who knows? Maybe they are. That's just how they like to dress or whatnot. But I think maybe a lot of them don't even know who they are yet in terms of like.
Yeah,
what they wanna
and like
look
it's easy to judge that because like we're a little bit older and we're a little bit more mature, but
damn.
um yeah, like younger people, it usually takes a while for them to figure out themselves and just like what they want, and especially like when it comes to caring about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
So many people these days care about other people's opinions, and that's why they do the things they do.
They don't want to
They-
stand out.
Yeah, nobody wants to stand out because if you stand out, people like you
You have made fun of.
that, and then also you become an outsider.
Yep.
And like for at least, I don't know if younger generation, like I don't know, like I don't really pay attention to that to them as much as I should, but like I'm assuming that it's hard for them to like be unique, is because especially now with like Instagram, TikTok, there's just so many constant like it's showing you like what's the cool thing right now, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and then you're as a young person, you're
Consuming
easily
it.
yeah, like, oh, like if that's cool and if I do that, then that makes me cool. You know what I mean? And
True. That's true.
that's when it comes to like they just care about how they look for other people,
Yeah.
not just like how they dress, but just like overall personality, and like you become like everybody else because you don't want to you're scared to stand out, because like if you stand out, people will like
They'll shun you, and then you won't
call
be
you
part of the
out,
crowd.
you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like I don't know, I've always been like I've always been an outsider. Like I never really cared too much about like being in a circle or like being in the trend or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I've always kind of embraced like my uniqueness, I guess.
And I see that. I mean,
And then like, but then it was also like I wasn't like fully like just expressing myself too.
Yeah.
Like I was unique, but then I was like kind of like shy and didn't want to stand out.
Yeah.
Like I just want to like, yeah, I'm like not following the trend, but I'm also like not standing out either. So like I'm just kind of like in the middle. You know what I
I
mean?
think that's where I'm at too.
Yeah. So like it took me a while to get to this point where like I finally don't give a fuck when it comes to like other people's opinions and what they think, and like I don't care if I say whatever I say and whatever I do. It's just like I don't know when the shift was, like maybe in the last few years for sure.
100%. Actually,
Um,
maybe I don't know.
but then it's just like it just got to a point where like I don't really give a fuck anymore. Maybe that's just what happens when you get a little bit older. But then there are also a lot of old people that are like still in that um yeah,
In that mindset,
mindset of just like trying to fit in and just trying to be like everybody else.
I think those are the people that can't let go of their youth. It's like they just want to stay in that moment forever. I think
I don't know if it's a youth thing, but it's like maybe they just never, because there are some people that have never figure out like who they really are. So
Yeah.
they never find out like what they're into, like like when you get to like 'cause after high school, like I guess even like from starting at a young age when you go to school, or you're always taught to like follow the rules, and like
Yep.
the school system is just so, it makes you a follower.
yeah,
um so like that, so when you get out of like school, like high school, and then you go to college or you start working, it's just like sometimes people just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna work this job and like I'm good right here.
yeah,
And I don't know, like being creative or doing your own thing is not for everybody. So it's,
no, for
I
sure.
don't, I'm not judging for people that are like, hey, um I just want to work at this job and then I'm just gonna live my life, have a family and do all the society norm. But then I'm just like, I mean, if you're happy, like fuck it, like who cares?
Yeah, exactly. It's like as long as you love what you're doing, you're not questioning yourself about it, then you're good. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're Gucci a bit, but like I don't know. For us, it's like those aren't the path that we chose because we didn't find happiness in those
Yeah.
type of things, and that's the realization I had within this last year. Is like, it's like, do I really want to do this type of shit for the rest of my life? Hell no. And so I was like, I did a lot of walking and just I'm surprised the marina doesn't have my walking pattern. I do a lot of walking there by myself at night, and then I do a lot of deep thinking.
Hey, that's a
diving.
good time to think, dude. Honestly, like I love going for walks by myself just because it gives me time to just process my
Yeah.
whatever's going on my mind. So
Clears you out basically.
Yeah.
So that way you could reset your mentality to a clearer environment.
yeah. So yeah, I would highly suggest like people that are watching right now, like go for walks, listen to a podcast, listen to a audiobook, or even just like fuck it, like don't listen to anything. Just
Yeah.
like think and
Honestly, just take time for
Yeah.
yourself to just realize things for yourself. Don't try to follow things that's making you unhappy. It's like you may, because I know from me, it's like at one point I didn't even know why I was unhappy until I started, having like these walks, and it took a while for me to understand and question things and realize those aren't the things that I like. You just have to just understand yourself. Really, it's like I had that realization. That's what brought me here.
nice. Well, that's a pretty good discussion, dude. Good job, man. On
Wait,
your
is
first fight, this is your first podcast?
Yes, sir. It is. I mean, hopefully I held it pretty good. So, I mean, what is it already
Yeah,
that time though?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost 1
Holy
hour right
crap,
there.
bro.
Yeah,
I
like-
didn't realize.
Honestly, an hour, like every time I record a podcast, like it's that hour, it seems longer. But then when you're, like
the zone.
talking, it's just like it just goes by pretty quickly. And that's why it's so good to just kind of, because like because we talked about this before too, like we're already having this discussion, like, when we go out to eat or we go for walks. It's like it's good to just record it, and because you never know who's listening on the other side right now.
I mean, honestly,
like,
who knows?
Because sometimes, like, I would watch a podcast, like, and then I learned so much, and then and like for me, it's like that's like my goal is like every episode, even though some episodes are better than the other. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you never know what's gonna hit for people.
That's true. That's very true. I
And
mean,
like, you never know what's like, even if it's just like that one sentence that you said earlier, or one sentence that I said, could be like the trigger for the person to be like, oh shit, like, like sometimes you just get that light bulb in your head, be like, oh damn, that's a good insight right there. But yeah, like, it's just, I don't know, like 1 hour is very quick sometimes.
it is. It is. I didn't realize. I thought we honestly had like 40 minutes more of this to go, because I think my brain was just like, I think I was just in a zone too.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
I mean, what do you have any other like thoughts that you're thinking about?
I don't know. Although this is what I want to say to your viewers, is like, basically, just be authentic to yourself, man. It's like, don't even give a fuck about what people tell you, or don't let anything influence you. And if you do let it influence you, hopefully that influence is true to yourself, not to what people are what you're trying to be for other people. Be yourself, and that's basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and like for me too, it's just when it comes to music, I always make stuff that I think is good. I try not to
good stuff.
I try not to think about like how people will react to it. It's because I talked about this in the last episode too. Like, it's because I don't want to have to worry about, oh, is this person gonna like it, or is that person gonna like it? That's like so many different. There's like millions and millions of people that are out there that's eventually gonna find this song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to worry about like, oh, are they gonna like it, or are they not gonna like it? So like for me, I just want to make something that, even with the podcast too, like I just want to make something that is true to me, and the right people will find it.
Yep.
And it will resonate to the right people, because like I don't need followers that are just like gonna hate on my shit. You know what I mean?
They say it's like, when you start getting hates, that means that's when you're making it.
That's true. That's true.
Fuck those people. Actually, you know what? Keep watching. Shit.
Hey, fuck it, dude. Hey, give me some views.
For real.
Yeah, because like I don't know, like I don't really give a fuck about haters too. Like, because I've seen comments like that before, where like, oh, you suck or whatever. Like, for me, I think about it, and then like I feel bad. Not because like I'm hurt by their comments, but then I'm just like, damn, how sad is your life?
Honestly, though.
That are like, you're taking the time to comment online. Like, that takes time. That takes like a couple minutes of your time to be like, oh, you suck. You know what I mean? Like, or you're like, oh, your art sucks or whatever. Like, it's just, you can say whatever, but then it's just like, man, it's,
those people are just the ones that don't have
like,
anything
you're really
going for
like
themselves.
sad about your life, because like happy people are, you're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, if I see something that I don't like, I'm not even gonna take time to comment on it. I'm just gonna scroll up and like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I've already moved on with my life. But like, when people actually comment on things, or like just do the thing and trying too much, I'm just like, dude, like, you must be really miserable just to like comment on other people's shit.
Psychologically, yes, they just don't have anything going good for themselves. So they have to feel like they have to put somebody down.
Yeah,
because
it's like they think it would make them feel better to put somebody down, but then
it's like, do something about yourself, bro. It's like, why hate on this podcast? And just go about and find something that you like. Shit, start a podcast of your own.
Yeah, or like,
if you think you're so
like,
good.
even if you're like, if you're listening to this right now and just like, you think I'm full of shit, fuck it, just move on, dude. Like, I don't need you to be watching right now.
Seriously.
And like, if you're just gonna be like this podcast sucks, or like, you know, it's
But also at the same time, thanks for the view.
yeah. Thanks for watching. But yeah, like I don't know. I just don't really give a fuck, dude.
I mean, I think no matter what you do, there's gonna be haters everywhere. It's like whether you're in movies, acting, modeling, music, it's like you or business or whatever that you're doing. There will always be somebody who's always gonna not like you for who you are
Yeah.
and doing the things that you're doing.
And then like everybody's gonna have an opinion too. And so but at the end of the day, your opinion of yourself and your art and whatever you're creating is the ultimate, like, should be like the priority list, you know?
Yeah.
Like follow your opinion of your art. Like it doesn't matter what I think, doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. Ultimately, it's just like, if you think it's good, then great. Then if you don't think it's good, then okay, keep working.
Yep, exactly. It's like, just like, it's like drawing too. It's like, it's like if you're drawing stick figures or something, or you want to draw something nice and you think it's really good, then shit. Then that's probably good. But I mean, not a lot of people see the same view as you, but just take it for what it is because you accomplished it. That's you. That's you on that piece of paper that you did, or that's you on that music that you just did. It's like, that's all you.
Yeah.
It's like, be proud of yourself for doing that, because not a lot of people find that they're too proud. They think they have to ask people. It's like, oh, what do you think about this? What? Because I used to be an artist too, as far as drawing goes.
Yeah.
I used to draw anime shit all the time. Like I showed my brother and all them. It's like, because I didn't realize that I had the capability to even draw something like that, and then I was like, oh, damn, this is hot. And that was my opinion. I didn't give a shit about what anybody said. I took that thing. I was so proud. I was like, this was in middle school. So I took that drawing, put it on the thing, on my binder, because it had the clear
the clear
binder. And so I put that on there. And every time I look at it, I'd be so proud of my damn work. It's like, I didn't give a shit about what anybody thought. And then I started noticing a lot of people would like comment on my drawing. And I was like, damn, that's me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, be authentic to yourself. That's your art. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then just like stop asking for validation too. Like fuck it, dude. Like make the shit that you want to make. Because for me, like I don't ask for validation from anybody. Just because I don't need to.
You don't have to.
It's like I don't know. Fuck it. I want to make what I want to make. If it's good or not, like I don't care.
The only time you should be asking is if, like, maybe perhaps you're beginning, you need some help. But aside from that, outside of that, is like, if you know what you're doing, you don't need to ask anybody. That's all you. That's all your work, baby.
And then obviously, like as a beginner, like if you're just starting off, like there's so much to learn, you know. And for me, that's why the reason why I don't ask for opinions or validations is because I do my research.
Yeah.
Like I've already done my thousands of hours fucking going through YouTube tutorials on like, oh, how to start a podcast, how to like fucking release a podcast, record videos, and doing all that. So like I never asked anybody to like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, because like I wanted to do my own I wanted to like learn on my own. Like I want to do my own research.
And that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. It's like I'm just learning things as I'm going. It's like I've always liked music, and I've had stuff on my laptop that I've done before, and I've never shown anybody. But it's kind of interesting that we're talking about this because I had you listen to what me and my cousin did, and what was your opinion of that?
The music?
Yeah, the one that I think we rapped on it.
At least from my perspective, I think, like, at least on your rapping skills, I think you had the lyrics down. But then I think your delivery, at least from my opinion, it just seems a little forced.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just, like, I think it's just because, like, it was your first song.
Yeah.
So you're obviously trying to rap, you know what I mean? And I think when it comes to, like, I'm not an expert when it comes to like hip hop and rap, but it should just be comfortable, kind of like you're talking,
Yeah.
right? Like I think,
I think it's a learning process.
yeah, when I was listening today, it just seems like you were trying to rap instead of just like rapping.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. And that's your opinion about.
Yeah, but then you're like, I told you, like,
Yeah, I
fuck
know.
it. If you want to rap that way, like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, if you think
it's crazy because
if you think you're hot shit, then like,
Yeah.
fuck it, dude. Like,
And
who
that's-
cares about what I
that's
think?
funny what you because like that's what your opinion, but it doesn't. It's in a sense, it's like it's cool. I like that you gave me some input on it, but at the same time, it's like damn, I'm actually pretty damn proud of that shit because it's like that was all me. It was like it's like it's not a lot. It's not a skill that everybody has that they could do something like that, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of that, and then that's what I keep in my vault. And so not a lot of people have heard it. And then when I shared it with another person, he thought it had potential as well.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like damn. So I was like, maybe I should continue this thing. So that's what's triggered me to keep going and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually pretty good. Like, it wasn't bad at all. It's just like you just need more experience.
Yeah.
You know, because the more you do it, the more
Oh,
comfortable it is. Like,
100%.
it will just be like breathing to you instead of like trying to breathe. Like, eventually, it just become like you're just gonna rap and like you're just gonna go.
Yep. I think it's just as I develop through this, then I'll start getting my own style.
Your own style. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what
Because,
you know,
like, when you're learning, you're obviously trying to like
you're trying to mimic different styles.
other
Yeah.
artists and trying to figure out like, oh, like that's a cool flow or that's a cool lyric or whatever. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you're just kind of listening to all these different music, but then the more you do it, you're eventually like, oh, I kind of found my style. Because it took me a long time. It took me a couple years to figure out like, oh, this is what my sound sounds like.
Yeah.
Because the first time I did it, it was just like, huh. Like, growing up, this is what I listened to. So like, oh, I'm gonna make that because like that's what I know.
Yeah.
But then the more I did it, it's just like the more I learn, the more I figure out like what my style is, how my voice sounds, or like
Yep.
how I sing, or like how I'm not a rapper, but sometimes I rap. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
I'm not a rapper either. I just try.
Yeah. But then it's just like, who gives a shit, dude?
Yeah.
Like, when I listen to like like, I'm not like throwing shade on like the, you know, the 80s rap music, or like, you know what I mean? Like the rap back in the day was like compared to now, it's just
so
like
different, bro.
It's so basic back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like all those rappers are bad. I'm just saying like the skill level itself has like progressed to like this point. You know what I mean?
I think it'll just like as time flies, and if somebody is willing to keep doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
regardless of whether they're singing or rapping, they'll develop they'll like literally evolve their style into things, in certain things, and then it'll become them. Just like your music is like you started off, you looked out to Ryan. Is it Ryan Leslie?
Right. Yeah.
Ryan Leslie, Justin Timberlake. Who else?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. You had a
Yeah.
lot of influence from a lot of these guys, and you made your own music, and it did not sound like any of theirs. It's like you developed your own uniqueness.
Yeah.
By following and understanding their music. So I think it's a learning curve to go through. It's like not everybody is going to sound the same. I mean, I think what it is like a lot of people see what's trending right now, and they see that oh man, I like that, and then I think I could do that, and so
Yeah.
they start following that, and then they stop being authentic to themselves.
Yeah, because they never. I feel like a lot of people just never put their own twists into it. You
Yeah.
know, you can mimic and you can be inspired by other artists, but then you also have to. It's your job to put your own taste and your style to it. Because if you're just copying it, then you're just
a sheep, just everybody
being
else.
like
That's
everybody
like,
else.
and that's what I don't like about the music of today is because everything sounds the same. Nothing sounds so like unique anymore. It's like even in the film industry, it's like nothing catches my eyes. You know what I mean? That's why I haven't watched the movie in such a long time. actually look outside of the U.S. to find films that are like in what Korean, Filipino, um, shit, even Chinese or Japanese, I Indian. I even watch those from time to time, but it's like everything here has been recycled, and not everybody has.
Yeah.
It's like all they're doing is just making the old thing look better in a sense, and I just don't like that because I mean it's great, but I think nobody has that creative mind to even start a new movie. But if I do see something that's different, then maybe perhaps I'll end up watching it.
Well, that's a good note to end that shit, man.
For sure.
Like fucking be unique and
Be authentic.
I know. Sometimes I hear shit and like in here.
Oh god, yeah, I heard that too.
But I think it's like the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it for this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Chris Mark, for
sure, man.
being
Thanks for having me, bro.
for subbing for Felicia, and yeah, we'll definitely have you back soon.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.